Okay. It's been some time. Now we're going to Hello, Muken Kai. Welcome to the stream. Today I'm going to be streaming on YouTube. I'm trying to set up a schedule now so I can do something where I might probably stream on Twitch twice a week, YouTube once a week or so. Let's see. What am I going to be talking about today? All right, let's see here. Yeah. So nobody really understands the simplicity yet the complexity and problems of pixel scaling. There are literal pros and cons to this. So let's see here. Hello, Keaton. Welcome to the stream. See here. All right, so let's start it off by keeping it very simple. The first point I'm going to bring out. Let me know if you guys can hear me, by the way. All right, so let's Okay. So I'm going to start off with a very basic understanding of what exactly is pixel scaling. Sorry it's been some time, guys. There's been some things going on. But I'm somewhat back. So let's take a look at this right here. Right? We're going to show you what pixel scaling is on a basic level, right? All right. So now this image is a little problematic. But yeah, yo, Muken Kai, you already know exactly what I was going to start talking about. Perfect. Because that's exactly what we need to discuss during this discussion. So let's first talk about pixel scaling and the benefits of it. What does pixel scaling do? So pixel scaling essentially allows us to properly scale a character's feat, strengths, and much more within a series. However, there are a couple rules I like to personally lay down when it comes to pixel scaling, and here are my rules of thumb. The first rule about pixel scaling is it should generally, if you're pixel scaling a feat, it has to be obviously accurate pixels. You have to use accurate pixels. Number two, take priority of feat. So keep the feat's priority on the feat. Don't focus too much on the scaling per se, but I'll get into that in a bit. And the third one is cross-reference. The reason you want to cross-reference is because you don't want an outlier. If you do not cross-reference this, you will get an outlier for a feat. An outlier is generally anything that can happen in a fictional character's arsenal that goes against the general prowess of their powers and is typically very circumstantial based and doesn't occur very often. For example, Esdef's little blizzard storm technically can be an outlier because she doesn't really perform it unless there's a cross-reference that supports this feat. For example, Esdef could still be hurt by a gun. And we're talking Imperial capital guns. The same ones that's weaker than the Shikoteza, which she could somehow deal with. So that's more of an inconsistency, of course. But again, you want to go over the majority rules. All right, that's good that you can hear me. I'm glad. Welcome, Isaac, to the stream. Let me see here. Welcome to the stream. All right, let's see here. Let's see how many people we got here with us today. All right. So another thing I'm going to talk about, that's the important parts when it comes to feats. So scaling wise, for pixel scaling is very important. You need cross references for feats on this. So I want to use these general rules. This is so you ensure there's no hyperbole, right? Or there's no there's no overinflated calc stacking or any of the sort. So let me go ahead and talk about the next problem with pixel scaling. So using this same image, I'm going to talk about the problems, but first let me show you an example that I can go across with. So I'm going to give you a quick example. I'm going to pull the official Daizenshu 4 Dragon Ball map, okay? I'm going to show you an example. So let's open a new file. So as you can see here, we're going to use this as a baseline, right? It's important to use this because it's going to help us understand a couple things. So the next thing we need to understand is the Korin Tower. So there's the Korin Tower statement. I believe they stated how far it was. Let me see if I can pull it up on my old Amino. I'm going to do this because I want you guys to understand what exactly am I talking about and why am I using this as a reference. Any thoughts so far or comments anyone wanted to leave, please feel free to. This is more of a live discussion. This isn't like a video topic. If this was a video, I like doing live discussions more than videos and live streams because I feel like videos, everything's pre-recorded and I really can't address every point that people bring up. So I feel like by doing it this way, I'll be able to bring up more points of what I'm trying to get across. So let me go ahead and go about the scaling of the Dragon Ball world that I did a while back. Let's find out here. All right, so let's talk about the map I used here. So the map, I actually did this pixel scale quite some time ago. Now, the Red Ribbon Army from Korin's Tower is stated to be 2,300 kilometers, right? That's something you guys need to understand first, right? The distance between the Red Ribbon Army and Korin's Tower. All right, so let me see if I can pull up the scan here. Where's the scan of where General Tao says that? Because there's a scan where General Tao gives the distance, and then that's when we actually see the feat take place. The reason this is important is because pixel scaling at this point can give you a level of, well, either accuracy or an inaccuracy. Here's the problem with this. So I'm going to give you the scale now. Here's what happens when you scale that properly. So pay attention. DB follows multiple theories. They do. I do, Andre. Thank you for that point, observation. I'm going to be showing them right here. So this is what pixel scaling is. Before I get into it, I'm going to give you an example. Before I even go into that, let's start right here. This is where the video really starts at. So pixel scaling is something that goes like this. So let me do a planet Earth, my own version. So let's start with, I don't know, something very basic. Basic geography. All right, so we got something like that, something like that, something like this. Yeah. All right, now this is very basic. This is a very basic planet Earth, right? Let's give it some color. Okay, so you guys with me so far? So we're gonna talk a little bit about this. So we got the polar caps and freaking green grasslands and desert areas, blah, blah, blah. Right? Whatever. All right. Yeah, this is not working. Okay, there we go. All right, so what am I getting at this? So this is planet Earth. So if we, to assume this is a normal Earth, we have to understand Earth is about, we're going to use a very, very basic. If Earth is about 2,400 miles, we're going to use miles. We're going to use American units for now. We're not going to use the metric system. If it's 2,400 miles for the Earth, right? Then we need to understand how many pixels does it scale across. So I use red because I'm going to use it as a highlight. Now I'm going to show you something here. I got it perfectly across. Now right here, because it's in the updated paint, you won't see it normally on your screen. So let me bring it here to you. If you pay attention right here, this lets me know that across it goes, X by Y axis. So X axis is first, Y is second. So the Y axis has no pixels in diameter, but the X axis has 355 pixels, right? It'll tell you that. So I can just easily jot that down, and I'll put 355 pixels. This is to teach people how to do pixel art. If you know how to do pixel scaling, you might be able to get different calcs than other people, depending on how you do it. So this is just a very basic linear type. So again, 355 pixels, more or less pretty much equal to that, 24,000 miles, right? So let's say there's a character who, let's say a character blows up the planet, or not the planet. Let's say he blows up this portion, right? This is the blast, all right? Let's make it a little more appealing to the eye. So the blast looks like this. He throws out a Frieza level supernova, right? Now, what I need to do is now understand, and the blast stops here. The blast blows up. Let's just do this right here. All right, so here we go. The blast blows a chunk in the earth like this, right? Boom. Big chunk is missing. So now what I need to understand is, what is the blast radius? Okay. Now, obviously, this blast is going on the opposite side of the planet. It's on a three-dimensional model, but we're not going to include that. We're going to just include the general yield. So using a basic pixel scale, because again, you don't need the most accurate results. You just need the gist of it, the bare minimum. So right here, let's stop right here. Since we know Earth kind of curves around right here, we're going to stop it around right here. The diameter, or pardon me, pardon me. Look at me. The Chick X Ulub crater most likely never happened in the Dragon Ball Earth. That is true. So looking here, right? We have to see the diameter of this blast, or the semi-diameter, I guess. Right here, it stops me at 195 pixels. So again, that's about 195 pixels, all right? 195 pixels. So now that I have how many pixels this is, how do I find out mileage? Now, this is basic math. This isn't a math class, guys, but I'm just trying to show you guys the basics of how to do proper pixel scaling. So we know it's 195, right? We know that's how many pixels this is. And we know that the Earth is 24,000 miles. So in order to get a simplistic understanding of how we do power scaling, right, through pixel scaling, we just need to understand and convert it. So we can grab ourselves a handy dandy calculator. Yes, that's right. Y'all saw my wife. We get ourselves a handy dandy calculator. And what we're going to do is we're going to do 355, right? So we're going to take 24,000 and we're going to divide it by 355. And that's going to tell us the miles per pixel. So we're going to keep that bare minimum. So that means 1 pixel is equivalent to about 67. It's equivalent to about, let's make it pink. It's about equivalent to 67.6 miles. So with that said, all I need to do now is take 67.6 miles and multiply it by 195 pixels, right? Because that's going to tell me how many pixels I have relative to it. You get that? I have about 1,300 and, well, to be honest with you guys, in real life, you have to go around the planet. This is only the diameter. We're just assuming the diameter of the planet is 24,000. I know technically if this was a real model, it would be 48,000 miles because we have to include the back of the planet. But just keep in mind, I'm giving a very basic calculation to show you what I'm talking about. Right here, 13,182 miles is pretty much the basic. All right, so we calculate that, we drop it down. That's how many miles we're going with. That's how big this blast yield is. Now, if a blast could yield about 1,300, I mean, it could lead up to this level. It's ridiculous. Now, you can actually do other calculations, such as finding the radius. I mean, the circumference. So there's obviously a mathematical equation where you can do where you can find the circumference if you have the diameter. It's kind of difficult if because you have to use pi, but you essentially would take the diameter and use pi, a basic formula, and then we would get like the radius of how far this blast would go in miles. But we're not going to go that deep into it. We're just going to keep it very basic. If we know that this can spread to this distance, and we know that it's confirmed to obliterate everything within its sight, then we got to consider how much is the mile rate, like how large is it. You can also even do calcs for like getting the this distance here to figure out how long it is vertically, or the latitude, I believe it is. So those are little points and nitpicks you can mess with to do pixel scaling, and that's what's going to give you your levels of power and your yield. All you have to do is calculate the blast effect and how much of the environment is destroyed. That's on a very basic level. Now, if you want to get very specific calculations down to the T, then you got to do the radius. You got to calculate the debris that was destroyed. You got to calculate how deep was the attack. But yeah, that's just on the basic level. That's pretty much it right there. Yes, I do have a Discord. It's on my Twitch. I leave it on my Twitch all the time. Andre, you can drop my Discord if you would like to for me. But oh my gosh, sorry about that, guys. I'm still just trying to figure out what's the best way I can explain this. But that's the basic of it. So this is the Dragon Ball map, and here's how it works. The Red Ribbon Army is confirmed to be 2,300 kilometers away, right? We got that confirmed in the manga. So all we have to do is take that confirmation and scale it vertically to understand the mile differences between the pixels in terms of scaling the map. We know that 22 pixels is 2,300 kilometers. That's what I use for here. So in other words, when I used it on top of here, all I have to do is understand 22 is equivalent to that. So that means 1 pixel is about 104.5 miles. So what I did was that, or about 5 kilometers, basically. I mean, pardon me, that was a different count. But what I basically did, is I took this and I multiplied it by how many pixels we have across the Dragon Ball Earth, which is about 769 pixels. That means that at the bare minimum, we have a circumference of 80,395.5 kilometers. And if you have any idea how big that is, that's basically double the size of Earth's normal, I believe it's a radius I think we have. I think our general radius of the planet. Yeah, I think the general diameter and diameter or radius of the Earth is basically double everything of the Earth's size. And again, you could be double the Earth's size and not have gravity be that significant. Because remember, Jupiter is a gas planet, but it's only about 2 times Earth's gravity. So don't think that in fiction you can't do something like that. Just because planet Namek is super huge doesn't mean its gravity won't be applicable. But I'm just giving you guys this is the basic premise, or the basic function of how pixel scaling works and what it's used for. Now, back to the basic map. How is this accurate? Well, we could say it's accurate because Beerus and Goku could fight on the planet, and the planet can well, of course, they have key control. But the fact that they can even power up and even do what they do on the planet, and Frieza's like Death Ball didn't get blown up by Earth, we're going to assume Earth and Dragon Ball is very durable. So obviously it's accurate pixel scaling. So that was accurate scaling. We got to take priority over the feats. So the feats that occurred in Dragon Ball, obviously there's feats that support characters could destroy this and destroy larger planets by far. And then cross-references is the Daizenshuu 4. So again, you have to look at what you have, and then you could do the calcs. You can't do it with everything in a series because in Naruto, for example, you have some very inaccurate pixel scaling. Sometimes you shouldn't take every scale at face value. You got to look at it. So for example, Naruto in the Raikage feat, the problem with that feat is the scaling. The scaling is awkward because what happens is you're really scaling the position Naruto was in as the attack went by, which is not actually how it would work because we don't have a time frame due to Naruto's acceleration. We can only assert and guess the difference between their time frame. There's no specifics to give us an idea. So Naruto being 70 times faster than the Raikage is not the most accurate way I would go about it, especially using the formula that was used for it. Of course, that's still fine if he's going to use that, but it because Naruto does support characters being faster than that. Naruto with the one-tail cloak, or not even one-tail cloak Naruto, could blitz Haku, or could react to Haku, who was confirmed to be able to reflect off a mirror in light, or basically has light speed. And Sasuke with the Sharingan was already able to deal with, I think, Light Dance Circus. I mean, not Light Dance Circus. It was another character with the lariat, the light speed lariats. So there's light speed consistency within there. So Naruto's KCM being that fast isn't too surprising. So that would be, so either way, Naruto being faster than light is still very, very applicable. In fact, especially by dozens of times. But to say something as far as 70 times faster and use that as face value, it's a little iffy because if we're going to go by that, I can actually calculate Goku to be about 700. Like, I can basically get Goku to be 700 trillion times the speed of light because he was able to outspeed the Scouter's scaling capacity. The same Scouter that could communicate across the universe and pick up on signals in an instant was the same Scouter that failed to track Goku's key signature on how fast he rised it and how fast he moved. They couldn't even pick up where he was going, and they couldn't even keep up at all. So if I wanted to use that, and the fact that Scouters can transmit communications across the universe, yet they can't keep up with the scaling capacity of Goku, I can use that same thing to argue Goku's 300 trillion times the speed of light. And to be honest, I personally don't think Namek Saga Goku was 300 trillion times the speed of light. Not at that degree. Especially because I like to go with mid-end. I do think a high-end Goku is that level, but I don't think a mid-end is. Mid-end Goku, I'd like to say, is more than 100,000 times faster than light. And I can explain why I believe that. But anyway, yeah. Why would Naruto struggle this much if he's this much faster than him? That is a good point, Andre. That's a very good point. So the object is, we're not saying you can't use pixel scaling. We're saying that if you use it, you have to have supporting evidence to back it up. Because if you cannot back up the pixel scaling, you could pixel scale until you're blue in the face. That doesn't prove anything. The author is not the most consistent at what he does, right? I'm going to give you another example. Andre will know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah. The reason I have this image up here is because Nappa is officially 6'10", and Vegeta's 5'5". And you know dang well, this is not accurate. Nappa's the size of a nearby tree. This is not. Sorry, I had a hiccup burp. A hiccup. You know dang well this is not accurate though. This is not even close to being accurate in terms of actual size. So again, pixel scaling, take it with a grain of salt. I will agree with one thing Webcam Paris said. It is supplementary evidence. It's evidence that just adds to what they can do. So, although he is 100% right on that, you got to bring supplementary evidence to prove Naruto is that fast. So, let's look at this real quick. So this is the Daikyo planet, right? Majin Buu can destroy this planet. So let's look at the evidence to prove. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do this on stream with you guys. I'm gonna show you the importance of pixel scaling. So we're gonna have a chart here for all in favor of Majin Buu being this is a chart for Majin Buu being above galaxy level, etc. Or this is a chart to prove that Majin Buu is like near the universe tiers or like very close to it. And this is the chart to say that he's not right here. So we're going to look at both of these. You know, I'm going to do blue because I think blue is a bit more interesting. Yeah. All right. That looks a little better. All right. And then the red, whatever. Just make it pink and then baby blue. Whatever. So anyway, the point is we have this chart, right? So what do we have that isn't in favor of Kid Buu being at this level? So we know the Daikyo planet is stated to be orbited above heaven. Now, pixel scaling from this perspective and the 9 pixels here, oh boy. If I already did it right here, like, see here. So if like the Milky Way was like, let's say 93 billion right here, 93 billion light years in diameter, right? And just all I have to do is divide it by 245, and that's pretty much every pixel is about what does that say? 379. Yeah, 379 million. So bare minimum about that. And then all I got to do is multiply by 9. And that's it. About 3. So the Daikyo planet, by this definition, it's about 3.4 billion light years. And it doesn't look like it is. But even if you ignore that, I have a scene from you. I have a scene for people who are skeptical. You know, I'm not even going to use this chart. I'm just going to show everything on stream. Let's see here. Power up. Kid Buu. So let's talk about Goku and Vegeta when they power up for Kid Buu, right? Let's look right here. Nope, that's not it. I think it's Dragon Ball Kai. Is this it? Dragon Ball Kai? Yeah, let me show you this. Oh, great, Disney. I love ads.
Wait. Why don't we call him to us instead? That way we can get him away from all those innocent people. It is us he's after.
But how do we call him?
Oh, use your brain, Kakarot. All we have to do is raise our power levels and he'll come running.
So let me show you this right here.
Let's do it.
Right.
So let me explain to you the purpose of this scene real quick, because this stream is more so about pixel scaling, but I don't mind talking about a couple power scaling nitpicks. Goku and Vegeta are, for Dragon Ball Kai that is, they're powering up so much that they can be felt across the entire, you know, or pretty much being felt across an entire afterlife or a universe out. Keep in mind that Kaioshin realm exists outside the macrocosm, so their energy is technically traveling across 5D space. I'm not going to get too deep into like dimensional tiering and stuff because there are people who are skeptical on it, but that means that since the afterlife is a separate dimension or world, as verified by Daizenshu 7, Toriyama, and many other sources as Daizenshu 4, the purpose is that their energies could traverse that far. Now let's talk a little bit about here. Now look at it right here. Watch when it pan over to Vegeta. Pay close attention. So I'm going to freeze frame it here so I can show you bit by bit. I'm change the screen. Boom. So as you can see here, when Vegeta's powering up, I believe he's Super Saiyan 2, I'm assuming. So do you see this galaxy? That's a galaxy. It's hard to see, but let me know if you guys could see it. It's moving right here. That's actually a galaxy. That's a planet, I guess, somehow. Keep in mind, guys, Dragon Ball is not always going to be accurate to pixel scaling. Dragon Ball is a wacky world. So people who would say, oh, that means that's not even a galaxy. That's just a planet with gas next to it. You can't really make that argument because Dragon Ball has been known to have planets that are extremely large. I actually have a scan to prove Namek is about as big as a star. Foolproof evidence. Evidence that's literally almost undeniable. But anyway, as you can see here, let's see here. All right, so right here, to give you guys an idea, that is a galaxy that you're seeing in the background, and the galaxy is panning. So this is a fade effect. So ignore Vegeta. Just pay attention to the background, the galaxy moving, and as they go from the galaxy, we pan over into a pink mist. See, the galaxy's still there. Vegeta's out of frame. Or kinda. The silhouette's still kinda there. We see the galaxy. We see the planet. See that right there? And then we pan over into the afterlife. And looky here. We have the Daikaio planet. Now this is important because this proves on screen, because there was a guy named Kira, right? He attempted to downplay the Daikaio planet through pixel scaling, which is funny. You can't really use pixel scaling. And anyway, the point is, as you guys could see, this would prove that the Daikaio planet, at bare minimum, if we lowball it, because somebody made a scan and they said, oh, the Daikaio planet's not that big because you could see the house from there. That was just an animator's mistake or an artist's representation. We have confirmation from the again, it's about the preponderance of evidence. You can bring up how this planet showed the houses and such when Goku first arrived. And Goku said it's bigger than your planet, King Kai, but it's not that much bigger at all. You can compare that statement, whatever, but that's one occurrence from Goku's statement and a showcase versus the Daizenshu versus the other pieces of evidence. So does Dragon Ball Super verse have infinite timelines? It's hard. It implies it does. There's no evidence that it does though, but we'll get into that a little bit right after. So as you can see, that means that this planet at the bare minimum has to be at least galaxy tier. Rather you agree or you disagree, as far as a size comparison, if you don't want to agree that it's, couple billion light years in diameter, it's at least galaxy size. Anyway, this is Krillin and Yamcha. So basically, that was said in the actual dub too. He was going to blow up the entire planet until he finds their energy. Dum-dums. And then he instant transmissions over there. A lot of people like to say that Kid Buu... By the way, I just want to address something. A lot of people like to say that Kid Buu traveled here. But it's hard to really say because if you look at it frame by frame, frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, frame 4, frame 5. So it's like, did he disappear or is that just the teleportation effect they did? You can't really see if it looks like he flied or he flew, but that'll get debunked right here. Because as you can see, it's just, you see a shine. The shine is an indicator about the position of where Kid Buu is going to appear. It's just to give an effect so that it adds more attention because a lot of animation and effort was put into this to add dramatic effect.
Majin Buu has been summoned by Goku and...
Anyway, that's pretty much that. But yeah, that's pixel scaling in a nutshell. You got to be careful with it. You have backgrounds, images, and so much more. I mean, I can pixel scale too on Blue in the Face. There's so much. And of course you have people who don't know how to do it, like Screw Attack, who instead said, Esdef destroying or Shikoteza destroying a city block is, I guess he's all of a sudden, continental. So you guys got to be careful with it. Pixel scaling, take it with a grain of salt. Again, remember, it's used to add to what you're scaling. I already believe Kid Buu is Kid Buu has statements about being universal from the guidebooks. So I'm just using this as a multi-galactic feat to scale him to being able to just one-shot such a object that's that large by the statements in the manga, which are cross-references, statements in the anime, which are cross-referenced in data books, and then I take the feat of him doing it or threatening it as a it's a statement. It may not be an accurate, complete feat, but it's still a statement. Also, besides, you have Kid Buu damaging the Kaioshin world, which stated to be the most durable planet in the series. That as far as we know, he said pretty much Goku and Kid Buu could fight as hard as they want. The planet won't break easily. So again, you have that. But anyway, that is it. That is the basic power scaling of Dragon Ball Super. Pardon me. That is the basic power scaling of pixel scaling and how to do it right. That's pretty much it. If any questions or concerns, we can move forward or we can go back into a different topic. Anyone feel free. We can go and review a versus battle video. We can go ahead and do... all right, I'm going to change the title. Let me put... in public critique. I'll talk... At this point, now I'll talk about almost anything. Because at this point, it's just a public critique or discussion. I'll talk anything about any scaling you guys want, for the most part. If you guys want to discuss a couple things, like what the versus battle wiki says, or how to debunk a couple things, I'll go ahead and do that. Outside of that, there's really not much else we can really talk about. But yeah. Oh, I'd like to point out something, by the way. This is a little off topic, but a lot of people like to say things like debunk the versus battle wiki. I could do that. Can't really say, but it's implied. I could explain the 20%, but it is a little bit it's a little basic. 20% is basically this, like 20% difference in Dragon Ball is a lot bigger than what you would expect. To give you an example, a 20% difference from a character could literally be the difference maker of an entire battle. Like, literally being 20% weaker than a character in Dragon Ball basically means you insta-lose. No matter what. It's like your 20% difference in Dragon Ball is like being 5 times stronger than them just because of the sheer dominance. Like the fact that it's crazy how much a difference is. But I'm going to, let's see here. Just real quick, I just want to mention this real quick. Just share this with your friends if they have doubts. Stop saying Goku got energy from the planet Earth. It's confirmed in Dragon Ball Kai, and it's confirmed in Dragon Ball Super, the manga and the anime, and the movie, that Goku got energy from the entire universe. It even says... However, it held the force of the whole universe. You can even argue Goku got energy from Demon World off screen, because the Makai world is not really talked about. But Goku technically could have drained Genki from there too, because he got energy from every place, and it's not a hyperbole either, and it's not even impossible because Genki doesn't care about what dimension you're in. I said this before. Ki does not care about what dimensional tier you are. You could be a 500th dimensional being. As long as they have Ki, Ki can traverse dimensions. That's what Shintoism believes in. I mean, that's what Yama Buddhism believes in. And some aspects of Shintoism about transitioning to higher levels, they don't believe in dimensional tiering limitations. That's why characters like Demigod are breaking fiction and reality. They don't care. I don't care if you could be in a billionth degree. I'm a billion spatial. Like, what's his name? He's from Kado, the right answer. Now I don't think Dragon Ball Goku could beat him. Don't get me wrong. I don't think Dragon Ball Super Goku could beat his 37th dimensional being. But I do want to say that if Goku and him were at the same wavelength or playing field, that doesn't necessarily make him. I got to talk about that another time. It doesn't necessarily put him at the same level. But let me see here. Let me read a couple of the comments. My bad, guys. I just got a little carried away. I just hate when people say, "Oh, it's only the power from the Earth." It's like it's literally clear as day that it's from the universe. Like the Genki came from the afterlife and the living world, and from Earth and the planets and the stars and the other suns that are in the Kaioshin realm. You think Goku's literally stupid enough to say, "I only want energy from"? Like if you watch the original Japanese, when King Kai says you could speak to the universe, Vegeta says don't overdo it. Just because Vegeta says don't overdo it doesn't mean he didn't get energy from it. That just means, oh, Vegeta's like, all right, that's a little too much. I can't talk to the whole universe. But people still heard him. People from Namek still participated. People from the afterlife participated. So they could just, Anyway, let's read here. All right, so we're going to debunk the versus battle wiki next. Thoughts on Yomi versus Inky or Raizen's friends? They seem rather surprised when Yomi powered up against Yusuke in the anime. Tiers, I think Beerus. So I'm going to answer all of them. So first, we're going to debunk the versus battle wiki. I'm going to do that after because it's going to take a little longer, Isaac. But Yomi versus Inky is a little interesting. Makuro is actually far stronger than Inky, and Yomi should actually scale a little bit above Inky. It's that Yomi had to fight Yusuke and couldn't recover in the official anime. So Inky is still up there, but the gap is hard to say. I would say Inky is up there in the millions, but I wouldn't say he's enough to where, he could actually beat Makuro. Makuro actually took it easy in the tournament. There's actually a scan in the manga where it says Makuro thought of these as just friendly exhibition matches. Makuro was not taking anything serious at all. And Hiei was injured for quite a long time. Hiei, the same Hiei who has a really good healing factor, was injured seriously. And he said, I think in the Japanese manga, he was implying she would have easily won the tournament had she had fought going all out. Because she would have one-shot everyone. But Yomi powered up against Yusuke because Yusuke brings out the best in people. He brings out the fight in you. So that's why they was enjoying that battle there. As far as Inky's like power scale wise, I put him at a large planetary. No, I want to say a large planet to dwarf, almost dwarf star level, but I want to say large planet. Simply because he's hundreds of times stronger than someone like Sensui. He could perform much greater feats than Sensui. Even a fatigued Kurama could perform the better feat in his base form than Yusuke by pretty much overtaking a demon world-sized continent with his entire planet in his base form without even using his Yoko. So I want to say Inky is really powerful. He's extremely powerful. And I don't think Kurama could even beat him even in Yoko, to be honest. It's hard to really say. But let's see here. Beerus. Beerus, where do I place Beerus? Beerus is a character who's like... Beerus is hard to scale because he's... if you've seen Revolution's video, he talks about Beerus being a moving goalpost. So Beerus is always going to continue just growing and growing for a goalpost as Goku and them. But as far as I personally, I place Beerus right now. If I'm going to mid-ball, not high-ball, not wank, I'm going to say Beerus is at least a low to mid-complex multiversal being. He has low to mid-complex multiversal level destructive capacity in terms of... He has low complex multiversal power scaling as far as attack potency goes. It's really hard because I know Dragon Ball Heroes is not canon. Don't get me wrong. But Beerus is showing that if we ignored all the feats, Beerus is showing that consistency. The fact that a tree that's feeding off the entire multiverse of different macrocosms of higher dimensional heavens, hells, and each their own Kaioshin realm that exist outside the universe, and they don't have time in them, so they technically could be 5D constructs depending on how you want to scale them. And Beerus is just sitting there letting the tree absorb all his energy, and he's like, all right, I can hold it off. I got you. It goes to show you Beerus is a freak of nature. So I want to say I put Beerus at like immeasurable speed with mid-complex multiversal tiers of power. And that's where I place him at confidently. I place him there confidently because I know Zamasu took over the timeline. I know Zamasu took over the timeline. I know he didn't just take over Universe 7, because if he took over Universe 7, Gowasu and the Supreme Kaioshin would have Kai-Kai'd or Shudan Ito them outside into Universe 10. Because we already know they can traverse the different universes and dimensions. We see it in GT, we see it in Dragon Ball Super, so they wouldn't have been scared. The fact that Zamasu could traverse outside of time, which the Kaioshins themselves can go anywhere they want in the multiverse, period. But the fact that they need a device to travel in time shows you that Zamasu's speed and range is far greater than where their Shudan Ito would have taken them. So they couldn't teleport anywhere else because he was everywhere. Otherwise, there would have been no reason. And that's what they call the evidence is inside the, it's in itself. The evidence it's self-evident, pretty much. But yeah, anyway, Beerus, immeasurable speed because Zamasu could leave outside of time. He's not bounded by time in the same sense. Jiren is confirmed to be... Jiren shook a world of void with no space and time, and Jiren transcends time, consistently stated, and Goku has consistently broke Hit's time-space parallel world that Hit made. Because the space, even if Hit was there, the space between universes always is 5D. So the fact that Goku could traverse that energy and just blow it up, and we already know Goku could blow up the macrocosm, goes to show you that it's consistent. They should be immeasurable or at least infinite speed. It's in and out because Dragon Ball is very iffy about it. Because like current Goku right now is like even faster in Ultra Instincts. It's like I don't know how fast you could be, but then Jocko could see him somehow. Dragon Ball's freaking weird. I mean, again, Bulma could see their fight. So, but anyway, how big is Namek? The Grand Kai planet and Supreme Kai planet. All right. In the World of Void, the 6-dimensional structure? No. The World of Void is a place with no space, no time. At best, if you have no space and no time, you're thinking of no temporality. So you're thinking of no hyperspace, and you're thinking of no Tesseract, because Tesseract is the shape that is manifolded from the movement of 3D. So basically a 3D object like this blue thing right here. See this? This is me just moving this object. So you see here? Let's say, so again, as I've stated before, this is the beginning of time. This is the end of time, right? So when you think of it like that, the World of Void doesn't have any of this. In fact, the Grand Priest had to build an object. And again, if it's a 5th-dimensional construct with no space or time, that does not mean you cannot add your own 5D objects and stuff within itself. I mean, again, remember, we're talking about Jiren, a being who's above Zamasu, and went all out, yet he didn't destroy the World of Void. I mean, of course, Topo warped it, but that goes to show you that the World of Void should technically be a higher dimension than the aforementioned dimensions that were destroyed before, but we really can't say because, again, Dragon Ball is really iffy. Even a full power Moro and Goku aren't destroying the planet Earth. And we all know that Moro could eat planets like I eat gummy bears. So, but let's talk about Planet Namek. I'll go ahead and give you the scale for that, bro. Give me a moment. All right, so let me bring up a couple things. So this is Frieza's technique. He cuts pretty much across the horizon. All right, and then I'm gonna show you right here. This is the official scan. No, come back here. Where are you going? All right, whatever. So this is the official scan. So let me show you how big Namek is. Let me pull him up. Bring him out. Bring him out. All right, there we go. There we go. I still got these scans, baby. So let me first, before we talk about Frieza, we're going to save Lord Frieza for another time. We're going to actually put him on the sidelines. So put Lord Frieza right there. I'm not going to call him Lord Frieza, the hell. Anyway. All right, so keep Pay attention. Pay close attention, chat. You can even timestamp this part in your video and share it with your buddies. All right, let's see here. All right, here we go. All right, so this is the most important part of all of this because I'm going to give you an idea. So first, let's talk about the first occurrence of it. Yeah, Bulma somehow shot Master Roshi and them and they lived. They just had bruises. Anyway, well, and it's funny because they were off guard. They were sleeping, if I recall. Yep, they were sleeping and Bulma shot them. So that whole Goku can't take a bullet with a blah, blah, blah. Master Roshi and Krillin were off guard. They healed instantly. You could call it plot-induced stupidity, though, because it's just a gag. But anyway. All right, so right here, Raditz says, there's somebody with a great power. Distance 4880. Okay? So this is important here. This is how we're going to actually scale this. So 4880 is a distance. Now, what is Raditz talking about here? What does he mean by distance 4880? Well, we'll find out shortly. But important notice, look at the background. I'm going to talk about this later, but right now we're going to keep it focused on the basics. So first off, let's talk about when Bulma was working. Bulma was working on the Scouter. They're sleeping. She shoots them, blasts them up. She wakes them up in this scan. So in this scan, nobody's getting any sleep. She says, I switched it over to our numeric system. Okay? Now, this is important. Pay attention. Because later in the next scan, after she finds out Krillin's power level is 206, it says, the best thing about this Saiyan souvenir is that it spots powerful people all over the world and tells you right where they are. Beep, beep. All right. There's a 250 level power level about 3,000 kilometers away. I know, that's Ten Shenhan. And then she's talking about Yamcha, etc. Now, why is this important? Well, the reason this is important is because Bulma said 3,000 kilometers away. She knows what a kilometer is. She changed it to their numeric system. Now, let's break down what that means. Okay, hold up. All right, so a numeric system, for those who are unaware, it's a writing system for expressing numbers that is in mathematical notation for representing numbers of a given set of digits. So this is important because we don't know how much. We don't know if this is kilometers or not. He just says distance. So we can't quantify it, right? Now, normally, logically, this is more than likely talking about kilometers. But even if it wasn't, let's discuss the distance here. All right, hold up. Sorry, guys. I haven't been looking at the chat. I've been trying to... World of Void, zeroth dimensional. It could be. If the World of Void has no space and time, how come Hit could use time skip? What exactly? Because Hit could still store time. That's the thing. And keep in mind, Hakaishin, when you're a being inside a realm that has no time, Goku still has time on his body. He still ages. Jiren still ages. Hit still ages. Movement requires time, right? That's why they had a time dial for how long it would take the World of Void. They mean it doesn't have a continuum of time like a timeline. The World of Void doesn't have a timeline, essentially, if that makes sense. That's the best way I can describe it than anyone else can do, for the most part. Did you see SJ Ryu's video on Cell Saga Goku flying from Grand Kai planet to roughly 30 seconds at base? How fast do you think Goku's going at that time? Given the distance of the size of heaven and the size of the different realms and their general distance, Goku is traveling the universe in about 30 seconds. Goku's traveling the distance about 4 universes in 30 seconds. So just do the math there, or at least diameter-wise. So about 93 billion by 93 billion by 93 billion. So Goku is at least going like a couple sextillion times the speed of light. arguably septillion, depending on how you scale it. It's extremely difficult to scale, though, because the numbers of how long it takes to travel a light year, and it gets complicated. Does Buu Saga Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta have speed faster than instantaneous movement? No, he does not. Characters have very fast reaction time, but nobody is shown to be faster than Shudan Ito. Shudan Ito is not even just instant movement, it's instant transmission. That's why it's been translated to that, because it doesn't travel linearly. It goes around dimensions. Remember, the Kaioshins can leave outside of their general space-time and go to a completely different universe by just going kai kai. Or they can just go to Zeno's world. You know? They can go anywhere in any point of the entire multiverse. As long as they know what it is, where it is, they can go there. Boom. Then no need to... They just got to think about it and they're there. So, to finish up, I'm going to use these mountains. So Raditz sees these mountains. These mountains are about 7 miles, right? Because, as we know, it's generally 7 miles away from the point perspective of a horizon before it curvatures. And because of his altitude being above the mountains and above the clouds, you can argue that this is even 10 miles that Raditz is traversing by the time he gets over here in this wasteland. Of course, we can't, because we don't really know where he went. We just know that that's where he traveled. So what does this tell us? Well, I'm going to give you a low ball, right? So that means 488 is equal to about 10 miles. I'm going to use I'm not going to use kilometers for the time being, just because I'm going to keep it very basic. So that's how much is 10 miles. All right, cool. Now, I'm going to do one more thing. So that means 488 equals 1 mile. All right? Keep that in mind. Or watch this. Watch this, everyone. Here's their official scan. Look at the point. 8,829,401. There are 2 chi readings that are unmistakably Namekian, and a third reading rapidly approaching that point. Namek has 3 stars, or 3 suns. This is important, not only because Namek has 3 suns. This is scary because look at how big that number is. Even if it's not the same numeric system Bulma used, even if I lowball it to this, let's see here. Well, let's see here. Let's take Frieza's calc or number and let's compare it. Oops. All right, so 8,829,401. Okay, now let's compare it. So if this is how many points Frieza is, then all we got to do is, I believe it's divided by 488, and that'll give us the mileage. So that tells us that at this point, Frieza was reading a scale to be about 1,893 miles away, bare minimum. This is a low ball, and even though he's doing this Frieza is not going to because the way a planet is shaped. Oh, pardon me. If Frieza is right here, right? This is Frieza. He can only travel so far to get to this position. Frieza's not... If the Namekians were here, Frieza's going to go there. If the Namekians are here, Frieza's going to go there. He's not going to go, I'm going to go around the planet. No, Frieza's not an idiot. He wants to get there as fast as possible. So this is the bare minimum, has to be labeled to the diameter point of the planet. So the entirety of wherever he's crossing... for the distance wise, this planet has to be at the bare minimum double that size. So it is actually bigger than our planet Earth. And that's a low ball, of course, because, well, again, it's more than likely Raditz is talking about kilometers. There's no reason for him to not include kilometers, especially since it did take him some time to get there, and Raditz is extremely fast. But anyway. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean, Andre. It's not the whole planet. It can't be the whole planet, because if it's the whole planet, Frieza would have to say, oh, the only way it could be the whole planet is like, oh, there's a big tennis wall here and I can't get over there, so I gotta go whoop. Then maybe we can count that, but we know that doesn't exist. And yeah, so anyway, at the bare minimum, planet Namek is at least double the size of Earth, so regardless of how people feel, it's going to at least require large planetary levels to destroy it. Now obviously that's complete BS, because we all know planet Namek is far larger than that, and if I go by the notion that Raditz was including kilometers, then Frieza is destroying a star-sized freaking planet, which makes a lot of sense because, again, it has 3 stars. Frieza in his final form kind of had a hard time destroying it. So anyway, what did Baby do here? Let's see here. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm going to go with the versus battle wikia now. So we're going to start debunking some things. Let's start debunking some versus battle wikia. Let's do this. Let's talk about Lloyd Irving. I'm going to talk about Lloyd Irving for a quick moment. So Lloyd Irving's from a video game called Tales of Symphonia, right? And this game wasn't that good. So let's talk about Lloyd. Let's debunk versus battle wikia. I'm going to keep it basic to you guys, right? Oh, I know what you're talking about, Hakai-shin. Are you talking about the time Baby snapped Goku out of the instant transmission and threw him into another world because he hit the Kaioshin? Now, that's just Baby having an infinite speed feat. Because Baby was able to catch up with instantaneous movement. Or technically, Baby has like 5th dimensionality in his powers, because he can pretty much catch someone who's in betweening dimensions through a shockwave. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. I got the scan you're talking about. I got the same scan, Andre. You're talking about this scan right here. Yep. That was a simple blast. Frieza's like, nah, get out of here. But yeah, let me explain to you guys why this is not the best. So this is Mythos, also known as Yggdrasil or Yggdrasil. What is this? What is this? Stop. Okay, sorry. Because what happened is I click here and then it shifts up here, and so it keeps bringing me to the video game page. Go away. Anyway, so let me tell you about Mythos, the angelic being from Tales of Symphonia. If you guys ever played the game, why am I bringing up this? I'm just going to give you an example of the versus battle wikia's poor excuse for power scaling. At least Planet Temple was able to split the world of Asalia into 2 parallel worlds of Silverant and Tetheala. Bruh. You did not just say splitting 2 parallel worlds that have different dilations of time. According to Tales of Symphonia, they have different dilations of time. In Darius Karlon, the in-betweening realm, they have different levels of time. You're going to sit there and tell me that this is only a planetary feat by Mythos? Are you joking? And then they say his speed is massively hypersonic. Can keep up with Lloyd. You know why this is ridiculous? Okay, they acknowledge that he could stop time, which is stupid because he also can resist time. You can't stop him. Another thing that I don't get that they did with Mythos is Mythos has, I'm going to show you. Tales of Symphonia anime. See if they have it. See if they have this. Where's that scene at? Yep, right here. This is part of the anime. I'm going to show y'all real quick. As soon as the... So indignation, for those who don't know, is basically a really popular spell in the Tales of Symphonia games. So basically, judgment, indignation is literally lightning from the sky, from a summoned spirit in a sense, almost like a summoned spirit. So we're not talking about basic strokes of lightning. We're talking about the return stroke of lightning and everything, because indignation sits there first above you and then it sends a bolt down immediately. And judgment is literally light from the sky itself. The light from the sky itself, which Mythos can teleport, by the way, and dodge. If you play the actual game, Mythos casually teleports. Alright, so that was that fight. Really good country level feat they pulled off. And I like how they're barely any damage, which is kind of accurate to the game anyway. Anyway, you guys get the picture. Why, oh why would you place Mythos, who would solo both Kratos and, they pronounce it Kratos. Kratos and Ewan would get bopped by freaking Mythos. Mythos would literally solo them. And you're going to sit there and you're going to tell me this angelic seraphim who could split one world into two separate parallel worlds with their own sun, their own moon, and have their own in-between world and have different time dilations. They may have a link to them, but they're still separate. And who could literally rejoin them at any time, who could teleport and send light across the entire sky and can dodge techniques like that. And you're going to sit there and tell me, well, you know, he's only massively sonic, massively faster than, he's only massively sonic speed. Go away. But yeah. I'm telling you, man, the Versus Battle Wiki, really despicable, brother. Yeah, really despicable. You should have seen what they did to Liu Kang. Oh, Andre, do you remember what I told you how strong Liu Kang was? Because we proved that Mortal Kombat has infinite parallel worlds or infinite multiverses. Infinite multiverses that all have 6 different, 10 different realms that all are infinite in size. Like, come on, man. Mortal Kombat Chronica is a complex multiverse being at her max power, of course, if she gets all the relics. But you're going to sit there and say, oh, well, Chronica is planetary at the bare minimum. Okay? She's the planetary. Even though in the freaking game itself, she erases all time. And Liu Kang, if you get the bad ending in the game, Liu Kang has to recreate all time from the beginning. Because he takes Chronica's power, spoiler alert, and he has to now reorchestrate everything from scratch. And you're going to sit there and say Chronica is planetary? Oh, man. Hold up. Let's talk about Chronica, actually. Let me see here. What did Beerus do here? Apparently, he absorbed an explosion, according to the Versus Battle Wiki. If you shorten the time frame of what happened, it'll be easier to explain. I'll have to look into it a little more and see what you mean. All right, let's see here. Real quick, guys, hold up. I just want to do a quick Mortal Kombat scale. For those who don't know who Chronica is, she's basically a Titan. She's beyond the Elder Gods. What I don't like is how... Go away. Ugh. Not interested. Kyomi naide. Anyway. Small country level. Planetary. Large planetary. At least small country. Are you kidding me? Cetrion, who is superior in the base form. Oh my gosh. And Cetrion... At least they acknowledge how strong she is. But, like, even still, her fatality, she outgrows the planet Earth. Oh, bro. And yeah, Andre, I was talking about that. That's the one I was talking about. I was talking about, like, how the Versus Battle Wiki does a horrible job, like, sub-relativistic. Deflected fireball from Liu Kang uses meteorites in the fight. What? What? Bro, she can stop time. She doesn't care about time. You didn't... Oh my gosh. Hold up. Oh my goodness. Forgot about the scene. I can't believe I gotta do this. I don't want Arby's. So which scene was it again? I believe it was the scene where they're all... Yeah, it's this scene. Let me skip. Liu Kang bodies them. So as they enter, Liu Kang melts the steel, goes into the realm. And this is hilarious. Watch what Kronika does. Keep in mind, so people think. So, sorry, Hakai Shin, if I'm not immediately responding. I just want to bring up this last point because I really want to bring this across because Mortal Kombat has actually gotten really badly downplayed. And I'm surprised the Versus Battle Wiki doesn't care about the arguments people use. So just hear me out. Andre, I think I talked to you about this already, but just look at the scene itself. So Kronika, you're going to literally sit here and tell me that characters like Kitana and Kung Lao, watch this. He can't stop him. And watch this. Against their will. That proves Liu Kang is a higher dimensional being because he wasn't affected by it. And it's already been stated in the game, Kronika can pull people from any timeline she wants. Period. Look it. All death was reversed. All war was stopped. Ridiculous, bro. All this was reversed. Raiden's gift shields you from the power of the hourglass, regardless. And the thing is, people's like, well, it's really the hourglass doing it. Like, bro, it's her power. Like, saying that Kronika is powered by her hourglass is like saying Gaara is powered by his gourd. Goku in Battle of Gods has... Yeah, he does have 5D attack potency. He does. He does because the distance between the Kaioshin realm and the fact that he could destroy the Macroverse is proof of that. So anyway, after this fight, I know there's a scene... Yeah, right here. So everyone pay attention. So this is the second ending. This is the bad ending. Spoiler alert. So this is my question to you guys in chat. So when Liu Kang said no right there and she said history rewinds, she literally herself erased it.
The realms as you knew them are undone, erased. You cannot save a future that no longer exists. There is only the new era.
So in other words, in this ending, Kronika literally just erased every timeline, every realm, every future and past that has already been done before. And she just said, no, I'm going to make a new infinite possibilities that already exist. And it's already been confirmed that there are infinite timelines. There was a interview from Ed Boon, and he already confirmed that there's infinite universe. I mean, there's an infinite level of possibilities in their multiverse. And they do have, in the Earth realm itself, is infinite in size. It's an infinite size realm, universal. And And because he said, if we go outside the solar system, where does a limit end to that? And Ed Boon says there is no physical limit to where Earth realm ends. I think that's what they're referring to, Andre. So anyway, right here. So how are you going to sculpt a new history if you're not at least you? So chat, I'm not going to answer this question. I'm going to let the chat answer it. Guys, how do you shape a new history if you are oh my gosh, I'm talking too loud. I'm sorry, guys. How do you shape a new history if you are only planetary? How do you shape a new history for 10 different realms and their own separate timelines if you're only planetary? And we can't just argue, oh, it's the hourglass because he was.
The fate of all realms in my hands? Raiden, I cannot do this alone.
Yes. Forge a better.
So anyway, I think the original ending, Liu Kang says he took Kronika's power and shared it. And with it, they were all able to pretty much restore all of history, which, again, like I don't know, man. It annoys me. It's like the same people who say, "Oh, God of War Kratos isn't that strong. He's only like a building level." Hey, Andre, remember God of War Kratos is only building level. Apparently. Oh man. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about some other things. Before I get the ending of the streaming. Oof. Still mad that Xenogoku loses to Bill Cipher. Where did Xenogoku lose to Bill Cipher at? See if I can pull him up. Xenogoku, Goku Zeno, or Xeno. Bill Cipher? The fuck? The hell is this? Hold up. What is this? What is this trash? What is this trash? Bill fights a silly monkey. So all they do is go off votes. That is so stupid. So all they do is go off votes. Goku doesn't resist being magically put unconscious by Bill's transmutation, and while Goku have hacks to take down Beerus, he wouldn't be able to use them while he's a tapestry. So, a tapestry? The freak do you mean by that? He wouldn't be able to use them while he's a tapestry. You mean a piece of fabric? First of all, Vegeta as a damn coffee flavored jawbreaker could fight a multiversal level being like Buhan, who is going to destroy the macrocosm and combine all dimensions and collapse them upon each other. Whoever, Gilad Hyperstar, I hope you see this video. I want you to, I'm going to start calling people out. This is not a personal attack on you, but this is the dumbest argument I've seen. It's an argument that's dumb mainly because it's not informed. It's not a good argument because it's an ignorant argument based upon the premise that Goku would not be able to resist. You realize Xeno Goku is the same Goku who can resist time manipulation, transmutation. He can breathe outside of space because this version doesn't care about oxygen. He is completely, oh my gosh, he completely mollywops Bill Cipher in every other category. Speed is equalized. Doesn't really matter because both can teleport or whatever, but let's see. Boo's transmutation makes people unconscious too. Deborah was unconscious as a cocky, a cocky. The freak. Isaac, what did you send me? Oh my gosh. That's what I'm saying, Hazama. Thank you. Exactly. I mean, I'm not going to go back to... I'm going to focus on this for now, but just to say it, I don't get how Chronica is only playing... How is she playing... Let me show you a planet... I think it's Mortal Kombat Gold. Smoke. Is it Smoke or Cyrax? I think it's Cyrax. Right here. Cyrax literally just blew up Earthrealm. So, I mean, the fact that... And these guys... Versus Battle Wiki is so inconsistent because they will count in-game feats. So, you're going to count in-game feats for other characters. Oh, able to dodge. Well, look, this is an in-game feat. And if we're going to talk about it, like, even Cyrax could blow up a planet. And in his ending, he took over one of the realms. He took over a couple realms anyway. Ugh. Gives me a headache. Anyway, Goku, yes, Goku doesn't, Xeno Goku could resist fate manipulation because Demigra couldn't control probability of Goku. Xeno Goku could also kill Demigra. Demigra has much higher than low godly. Xeno Goku has Hakai, because he does have the same techniques as Capsule Goku, because Xeno Goku knows everything Capsule Goku does except Blue, Super Saiyan Blue. It's just stupid. Vagio stayed conscious because that's where his resistance came from. Goku absolutely scales to that. He's still not overcoming Bill's low godly since he can't use abilities while transmutated like Vegito couldn't use Ki Blast. Who said Vegito couldn't use Ki Blast as a candy? That doesn't make any sense. First of all, and also not even that, you can't change Xeno Goku's shape. You have to argue that Bill can even transmutate Xeno Goku, or if he can even catch Xeno Goku. Even if you're at Xeno Goku's speed, or faster than him, he could still keep up with you. I mean, look at when Goku fought Buhan. Anyway. He can incapacitate Bill. Xeno Goku only goes for the kill when it's necessary. Bill almost always snaps at people and he has no personal vendetta with. Goku usually starts with physical attacks or Ki Blast. This is Xeno Goku though. So where are these arguments coming from? Bill's regen is pretty fast, except with only his eye gets damaged strangely. Goku will already detect a weakness in him, because he would just read his mind or sense his feelings and thoughts. Keep in mind, guys, Xeno Goku is not Dragon Ball Super Goku. He's not Dragon Ball Super Goku at all. Do not confuse the two. Because Xeno Goku is a character who can defeat Demigra, who could destroy the mental realm. If you don't know what the mental world is in Dragon Ball, do you know the plane where Gohan and Krillin image train? Everyone has their own thoughts, and Demigra can literally infiltrate that world and destroy the multiverse of thoughts. Like, literally, because when you go into the mental world, Demigra was going to destroy every single thing. And when you're the future warrior, you have to go into your own mental world and fight yourself to overcome. I think you fight yourself. I forgot who you fight, but the fact that Xenogoku has all these in his arsenal, it's a complete stomp. Not only that, is that Xenogoku is far superior in raw attack potency. Bill Cipher can't do anything against him. This is ridiculous. Let me see here. They got rid of Xenogoku's resistance to transmutation. Oh no. Goku negates immortality as he can use the key sword. He fought a guy who mere presence alone can destroy the real world. And, well, of course. Yeah, of course. Xenogoku is outerversal, period. And there's not a single person who could deny that. I mean, there's not a single person who could probably debate a rhetoric to deny that. I don't care. I don't care if you could be Seth, you could be Webcam Parrot, you could be Ben Shapiro, even though Sarah Z kind of exposed him, he's not all that great. You could be the greatest debater on Discord. It's not going to bring across the point, because all debating really is. For those who are unaware, there's a reason I don't do as much debating as much anymore. At least not on Discord, because the community is toxic. But debating is changed. Debating is literally bringing forth your facts and evidence together and being able to provide that evidence. Even if you lose a debate, that doesn't inherently make you objectively wrong. Debate isn't about objectivity, but argumentation and the craft of articulation to overwhelm your opponent or win against your opponent's points or prove to them. It depends on which style you're going for ego, for victory, for winning, for politics, whatever. But in this case, for Dragon Ball, look, Xenogoku, at face value, you have to look at the very basic point. I can ad nauseum this to I'm blue in the face, and nobody's still going to sit there and deny it. At least you can't logically. If Xenogoku is a character who not only transcends his world, his realm, but the author who created the realm itself, the video game designers Yoshihito Nakayama, and many others like Toyotaro the writer and such who canonically exist within the comic book. Goku can sit there and transcend to that realm like Demigra, who threatened to destroy it, and Goku can revert back. And this isn't an outlier, because Capsule Goku, who scales the Xenogoku, is the same Capsule Goku who fought God Broly, who in the official Dragon Ball real 4D movie, threatened to destroy the audience in the Universal Studios in the trailer. He's not going to destroy the real audience who see the film, because obviously that would be a lawsuit if they sent out some crazy guy actually hurting us to bring it to fiction. But the depiction of his purpose and premise of his fictional barrier is that he's completely shattered the fourth wall. There is no fourth wall for him. He's not a fictional character to them. He's real. And at that point, it's like Milkman Superman almost, or like, it's like at the highest pinnacle. You can't really deal with them. So, anyway. Machikarba? Yeah. Who can regenerate from the erase of... Yes. Also, don't forget, Towa could bring herself back from the concept of hate. Towa's hatred in her heart is so deep that even without a body, soul, mind, or existence, she can bring herself back through her essence itself. Just the thought or the idea of Towa's being a being could bring her back. And that's why Towa is still here today wreaking havoc. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. Bill Cipher wouldn't even make top 100 in Dragon Ball Heroes. I'm sorry. Yeah, actually, Bill Cipher can't even beat Dragon Ball Super Goku. If I'm keeping it real with you, he can't. He can't. Goku would immediately, if we're keeping speed and stats equalized and such. Stats aren't even need to be equalized. And the thing is, hold up, Andre. If correct me if I'm wrong. When Trunks was barely stronger than Deborah, but he was still. Hold up. Let me see something. I gotta see the anime version of this fight.
It's Jake from State Farm.
Can you stop with the commercials, guys? I'm getting sick of it. Thank you. No, I'm just kidding. So Trunks is Super Saiyan 1.
It was a tough battle and I barely made it. But I was lucky. Supreme Kai warned me and helped me fight.
So as you can see here, when you're at a relativistic power level, you can negate hacks. Now, you can argue that he's using Ki Blast to not let it physically touch him. But, regardless.
It's a long story and there were losses. But ultimately I defeated Deborah and Bobbity and stopped Boo from hatching. But our peace was short-lived.
But anyway, the point I'm trying to bring to you guys is that you can't sit there and say, oh, you could just transmutate Goku. How? How is he going to do that? Explain the process and let's talk about it. Let's talk about what Goku can do to counter such a technique and what's going to be the devastating factor about it. Because at the end of the day, it's like, oh, Bill Cipher can regenerate. I don't know how you regenerate from a Hakai, but okay. There's a lot of factors to consider. But anyway, that's pretty much it. I'm not even going to go too deep into it after. I'm going to leave it at that. But all right. Looks like it's dinner time, guys. I appreciate everyone for coming in. The people who liked the video, the people who liked the stream, people who enjoyed it. I hope you guys all had a great time. It's been fun talking about the pixel scaling and jumping back and forth. But yeah. Oh yeah, I understand, Keaton. But the reason Trunks' hair is blue is because Bulma's hair was originally purple. So they made Trunks' hair purple, but they screwed up because they put Bulma's hair as blue again. So then Toei Animation Studio got a mix-up. So Trunks and Bulma are supposed to have purple hair. So as Trunks had purple hair, they said, guys, let's just fix the F-up we made. So what they did was they made future Trunks get blue hair in an attempt to correct the mistake they already made way back then. Which, to be honest, it's like, you guys should have just left it alone and just say Bulma dyed her hair. But that's the reason why there was confusion. For those who are confused, Bulma's hair was always supposed to be purple. Always. So the reason they turned Trunks' hair blue is because they're like, let's make Trunks' hair blue because his mom's hair's blue and it was supposed to match his mother's hair, but we screwed up. And it's also apparent when you see like bra. Yeah. But anyway, that's pretty much it there. That's why Bulma's hair suffered. They kept changing it over and over. But yeah, it was officially purple. It was always supposed to be purple. But apparently they screwed up. Even in the official mangas, it was purple. Here's an example. Let's see here if I can pull up a solid image. Yeah, like that. That's official colored. And this is also official colored. It was always supposed to be like that, but you know, they said, screw it, guys. Let's make it purple for the anime. Why is it purple for the anime? Because we effed up. We already made it blue. So let's just keep it blue. Why? because I don't feel like going back. But it's all good. It doesn't really matter. To me, I'm not bothered by Trunks' hair at all. I would have preferred it to be as it should have been. Because simply that hair color is cool. Like, I would have preferred this. But it's whatever. Anyway. Yep, A-Class is coming soon. I'm still in the process of thinking about how I want to edit the video, because the thing is, I'm trying to think of new editing techniques. I don't want to keep using the same editing as I did before. I feel like I want to change up the dynamic of how I introduce A-Class. I might actually show my face and stuff. Oh, I mean, I've already shown my face on stream, so there is no...
Oh, if we get to 1,000 subscribers, what's your face reveal?
I'm not going to do all that. I'm just going to keep it simple and clean, like Kingdom Hearts, simple and clean. And just go straight for like a introduction based video and try to explain. I just want to do it a different way than most people do it, and yeah, see if we go from there. Yeah, I used to think that too. Oh, it was named Bra because that was like, her name was originally Bra, because think about it, Andre. Trunks, which you wear. Bulma's sister was Tights, like tighty whities. I forgot Bulma's mom's name, but Dr. Brief, like briefs and boxers, briefs. Trunks was like a pair of swim trunks. Bulma is like, I forgot what her pun was off of her name. I forgot what it meant. But I think it was like, in Japanese, Buruma, which is like bloomers. Buruma, which is, yeah. I think it was the Buruma, which is bloomers. So yeah, Bulma is bloomers. Bra is like a literal bra. Brief is briefs, and Trunks is, yeah, trunks. And yeah, it's a bunch of undergarment puns. I just like Chi-Chi means boobies, I guess. It's freaking weird. It's freaking awkward, though, about Chi-Chi. Oh, Frieza, King Cold, Cooler, Fridge or something like that. Frost. I mean, yeah. I mean, the next Frieza villain could be they could have made like a final Frieza villain called Absolute, but whatever. Let's see here. People arguing Zeno. People argue Zeno is bound by time. Is that true? No. Well, here's how it works. Hakaishin, keep this as a lesson. Dragon Ball characters can age. Dragon Ball characters can die. Some of them can, some of them don't. Dragon Ball characters are depicted as three-dimensional beings, just like Mixel or whatever. But unlike the Western culture, their powers are not indicative to their appearance. Zeno can appear to look like a little child, rabbit hole, whatever, who can't really keep up with the fight between Dispo and Golden Frieza. But the same Zeno is the same one who can just instantly, with zero time and effort, destroy a timeline, as if he doesn't know his own strength, literally. So with that said, Zeno is just too powerful. He's not bounded by time because, I mean, he could destroy a timeline, and he was living in a realm with no time, so that doesn't make any sense. Now, if you're talking about actual time, like temporality time, then yeah, almost no fictional character can exist without it. Almost none. But that's another story for another time. Revolution said the world of void is with 5D structure. What does shaking the world of void mean for power? I agree with Revolution. I actually carried that over in the old debate I had with Seth the Programmer before, but that was when I was an amateur, and I wasn't even trying to debate, actually. It was actually a discussion, but it turned into a debate. It turned into me getting jumped, but it's all good. That would be a lot different now, but I don't really care about it. It's too it's unnecessary to even talk about it. I mean, people got their lives, people got things they got to do. So if I'm going to keep it simple with you, shaking a construct, it's shaking the world of void is like shaking a fifth dimensional construct, essentially. You're essentially shaking a realm. It's like a construct, but it's bigger than the macrocosm in a sense because it's infinite. So, I mean, if you say it has no time and space, that means the concept of space and time don't exist. You can actually, I feel like because the way Zamasu is and how strong he is, you can argue it's either 5D or argue it's outerversal. You can literally argue that it has no space, so no spatial dimensions exist there. It's zero dimensional. It's outerversal. It's beyond dimensions. You can fit infinite dimensions in it because there is no space. The concept of space or spatiality isn't there. Time, temporality isn't there. It's just a void. Which I hope it's not outerversal, because if it was, then that would just make Demigrod. Because in Xenoverse, each timeline has a world of void, and even though the world of void isn't bounded by the timelines itself, which would have made Demigrod like high outerversal. And I'm not even including the human world. You're gonna give a boundless Demigrod? Like, chill with that. But no, for real. Do you watch any sports? I do watch sports. I do enjoy sports. I more so like basketball, and I do enjoy boxing. I was actually earlier watching I was actually talking with Andre earlier. Andre and I were both talking earlier about Muhammad Ali and Mayweather, how Mayweather's in a different era. So Mayweather's little comment about, I'm better than Ali, essentially, or saying that I was able to take less risk or less punishment. It's like, Mayweather, you know, you're in a realm. Mayweather, you're in an area. Let's pull up this picture. It's like, you know, Mayweather, you're in a realm. It's like, Mayweather, you're in a realm where in reality you wouldn't be able to actually, like, he wouldn't be able to actually hang with Ali. And the thing is, he's in a realm where it's like, dude, Ali had to deal with so much racism. Being a black man back in 1940 was terrible. I mean terrible. People nowadays the butterflies nowadays, the snowflakes nowadays have no idea how tough it was of a world back then. They think police brutality is bad now. You should have seen the 90s. Why do you think Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, and them made their music they made, or gangster rap? Because it was describing what was going on in the streets. It was for real. And they have videos to record it. And the 80s was worse than the 90s, and the 70s were worse than the 80s, and the 60s were worse than the 70s, and the list goes on. It's terrible. So the fact that Ali, of course Ali didn't make as much money as Mayweather and such. Boxing wasn't even that big back then. Oh, I like how this actually did occur in the Baki anime, this image right here. But anyway, MMA like the UFC. I do want to watch MMA and UFC a little bit more, but I am familiar with John Jones, Conor McGregor, and a couple other big names. Like I did used to watch it with Rashad Evans, and them were fighting back when Rashad Evans was on there. Quentin Jackson, a couple others, but I'm not as up to date current. It's been some time. I was in for the Ronda Rousey and Holly Holmes fanatic, but we all know how that went. I did want to talk about martial arts on this channel, but I didn't know how open people were into martial arts yet. So I wanted to ease my way into that by talking about power scaling and basic functions of that. Keep the channel very consistent and basic, and then introduce other content later on. Because I was actually going to start talking about content like my thoughts on so many other topics, but I can definitely talk about other topics as well. It doesn't require as much research because I usually do anime power scaling as a hobby, because researching for other things, those are actually more fun for me personally. As someone who wanted to grow up being a detective, I love doing basic research and analysis. like about that guy, what was his name, Robert Morton, and the whole situation with the police officer and the Mississippi and all that. I broke that whole thing down. But anyway, Shin Budokai Janemba is 5D, easy. No, 6D actually, low 60, possibly. No, wait, because Dragon Ball has the macrocosms. Because of the way the macrocosms work, Janemba's at least 6-dimensional. I mean, no. If the macrocosm is 5D, the timeline is 6D, and the Janemba destroying infinite of them makes them 7D. So yeah, Janemba's about 7-dimensional. He's about mid-complex multiverse tier. Shin Budokai Janemba. You think Cosmic Armor Superman can beat God, Broly, Goku from the real? Hell no! What kind of question is that? Did you just really ask that question? Of course not. Cosmic Armor Superman is considered to be a splat on a piece of paper, in the entire DC multiverse is in that splat. The real 4D Goku will take that piece of paper and crumble it up. The real 4D Goku is like, I'm not on paper, I'm with the author. You know, that's, when it comes to feats, it's a lot more impressive. It doesn't matter how cool Superman looks or how cool they draw him, you know? Thoughts on Conor McGregor as a fighter? I haven't studied enough about Conor McGregor's fight as a fighter to really get a full grasp of how good he truly is. But I definitely am open. But Jagan King, I definitely am open up to doing an analysis video, doing a couple analysis and reviewing some of them, because I definitely enjoy martial arts, fighting. I did used to watch Masatatsu Oyama, Morihei Urashiba, the creator of Aikido, or modern Aikijutsu, or what used to be Aikijutsu, now modern Aikido. I used to be into a lot of that, also known as O-Sensei. Li Shuwen, who was actually a real fighter, or Li Shaowin. Pardon, my Mandarin is terrible. I cannot speak Mandarin very good, and my Gongdowa or Cantonese is also terrible. But I was into Bruce Lee, learning about the real Ip Man, learning about Ip Chun. Man, I could go on. Bruce Lee was one of my favorites too. Anyway, I love martial arts, and I would love to talk more about the UFC and such. But let's see, Andre, let's see. Can you do a video? On Seth's Goku versus Superman video? He said Superman will win due to speed. I already talked about that, Keaton. I could do a video on it, but I'm trying to really avoid drama at the moment, because I know if I do something like that, it's just gonna be like, well, technically you're wrong because this, and they're probably gonna miss the whole point. And it's really old at this point. I'm just going to put it this way. I don't really care about Goku vs. Superman as much anymore, enough to do it. But at the same time, I could give you the answer on stream and let you know that if Goku and Superman did have a fight and speed, Seth was wrong about one thing about speed, and that's that he forgot that combat speed in Dragon Ball is completely different. And he also forgot that Goku was moving while time was frozen. I think he was just trying to do that because Webcam Parrot was on. So he was kind of damage controlling the situation, because Webcam Parrot is a Superman fan, and I'm not saying Webcam Parrot downplays Goku all the time, but he downplays Goku all the time. So I wouldn't really use Webcam Parrot as a validated source of authority, especially Seth the Programmer. Seth the Programmer is great for content creation and debating purposes, but he is not really a full-out power scaler. He is a power scaler to a degree, but he is more of a debater than he is a power scaler, because he does not talk about different levels of math. He does not generally talk about the concepts of mathematics at that degree, to the point where he's like doing all the calculations for every character and discussing about how they work. There are a couple others who could do it a little more. Webcam Parrot is a power scaler. Seth is definitely a superior as a debater, but as a power scaler, I wouldn't compare him to Webcam Parrot, but that's just my opinion on the two, of the assessment I've made off of both of them. Of course, there are a couple of anomalies that Webcam Parrot isn't even aware of. Again, people, no matter how good you are at debating or power scaling, you have to always verify the factors, because it's always that one factor that will take it away. Like when someone said Goku shaking the earth was like solar system level, Seth used that calculation. I was like, bro, that doesn't make any sense. The guy who used the calculation said he used a seismic scalar for the Richter scale. You can't compare the universe, an empty vacuum with nebulon gases, and the shockwave and shrapnel of mediums to that of seismic, propagation on a surface level planet with tectonic plates. That's a false equivalence and a false cause, in circular reasoning. So anyway, do an analysis on Conor McGregor fights. I will. I will possibly consider doing that. Last question. How powerful is Dragon Ball Fusion Goku? That's hard. Because he's like around the level of Xenoverse Goku. Because the thing is, Dragon Ball Fusions is canon. Dragon Ball Fusions is canon to Dragon Ball Heroes. So I guess he's relativistic. But I want to say he's at least extra dimensional. And given that he scales to like where Goku's at currently, you could say he's like high complex multiverse tier, but even then it's still kind of like, because I haven't did too much research on Dragon Ball Hero Fusions as much as I should have. You don't have to bring up Seth. I was just curious about the speed. Oh, okay. I know what you mean. All right, I understand, Keaton. My apologies then for misunderstanding. To give you my honest opinion, I just think that the approach Seth used wasn't the right approach overall, or the calculation. I think Goku overall is way faster than Superman, and Goku has a consistency of showing those feats in combat. It's just Superman has more in-your-face feats. So what happens is, in the DC comics, they will say, traveling at the speed of blah, 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 blah. Superman was able to blah, 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 blah. They tell you the feat Superman did. But with like Dragon Ball, they don't tell you. They let you scale. And you got to scale by yourself. In Dragon Ball, they'll tell you Goku flew to the other side of the planet Namek. What they won't tell you the size of planet Namek. And if they won't tell you the size of planet Namek, you got to figure that out on your own. Period. So now you got to figure out the size of Namek, how long it took Goku to travel. You got to factor in Frieza was about to land the finishing blow on Vegeta. Goku moved faster than Frieza's hand could move to Vegeta's neck. The same Frieza who's faster than Scouters. So you can argue Goku got there in literally less than a nanosecond. Which is actually a valid argument. Because nobody expected him to be there. How would he do as a UFC fighter if you take away his powers? That he'd destroy everyone. Even if you take away his powers, even if you don't give him the same physical strength, he would destroy everyone because he has clairvoyance, precognition. And even if we took away the Jagan, Hiei's willpower is not human. So he would easily get very strong in a short amount of time. And his observation skills to learn would drastically surpass anything most people have seen. So, yeah. It's Resurrection F, Dragon Ball, Fusion, Goku in that game. Andre, thank you. Okay, gotcha. Does Goku have 60 power and super? And attack potency, yes. Yep, Andre's right. He does. He definitely does. Because he can destroy the macrocosm with a punch, casually. And then he scales to Zamasu, who infinitely took over all multiverses. Let me put it to you this way. So Dragon Ball has the living world. Let's pull up a map. Dragon Ball map. Let's pull up a map of the universe. Dragon Ball map universe. So to give you an idea, you got heaven, which is the size of the universe. You got the Enma realm, and you got hell. Right? So these are all universe in size. Now this is called the afterlife, or the heavenly realm. The realm Garlic Jr. was going to suck up. This realm is about the size of a super universe, I guess. Now, each realm just means domain. There's a barrier in hell. So technically you could say hell is separate because there's a barrier that doesn't let you crawl back up. But we're not going to go that deep. We're going to just lowball. This is about one universe, right? One giant universe. But this is not a normal universe. Heaven has no time. And it uses astral spirits that go there. You need special permission to travel there. And you can't really go there unless you have a physical body. And Goku is one of the only exceptions for that. Kid Buu doesn't go to the afterlife with a physical body. Only Goku has ever went there with a physical body. And it's confirmed because Kid Buu in the manga never went to the afterlife. In the anime, they kind of screwed that portion up, but whatever. So the next point I'm going to bring up. Oh, yes, that would be funny. I can imagine Hiei saying, your orange hair reminds me of Kuwabara. You must be just as much as a fool if you think you can beat me. That would be funny. Hiei would end Khabib's undefeated streak. He would. Absolutely. Even if he's a fictional character, even if we just give him basic stuff, he would absolutely destroy. Let's see here. As much as a Dragon Ball fan as I am, I tend to stray away from power scaling since Super, because I can't contemplate on it. The outerversal feats and tiers is wank or legit. Not saying they aren't. No, Hazama, I understand how you feel. I personally don't put them to outerversal because if I did, that would go against the general scaling of how they actually scale. There would be no need to get more powerful if you're already outerverse level. Kind of. No, well, actually, you have low outerverse, mid outerverse, and high outerverse. But there's no actual evidence to really prove that. But yeah, power scaling is wonky. But they give you the basic premise of you got the afterlife, which has no space and no time. Now you see the space between, this is the Kaioshin realm. The space between the universe and the Kaioshin realm orbits outside of it. So that means there's a fifth dimensional axis that separates these worlds. And there's something that's separating them. So that has to be on the fifth dimensional axis because they all have their own timeline. They all have their own time. And we know this is confirmed because they're separate worlds. The Kaioshin realm is separate as a realm and as a place. The living world, which is right here at the bottom, right here, this hieroglyphic looking area, this is the earthly realm. It's completely separated. So yeah, you basically got one universe here. You got the Makai realm here. You got the room of spirit and time somewhere hidden in the spatial walls here, and then the Kaioshin realm, which is actually bigger than heaven. So if you think about it, you got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 universes essentially in one. Or one giant macrocosm, which is just macrocosm, by the way, guys, or macroverse is basically a bigger verse or like the bigger picture. A microverse is the smaller world. So like a microverse is like all the germs and such, and a macroverse is anything outside of the universal level scaling. So anyway, the last point is if you have all these 5D continuums inside one timeline that has all these other realms, and you can destroy that. Like Zamasu can, Infinite Zamasu, you have to at least be 6-dimensional if you could destroy the entire timeline or take over it. Bare minimum. That's a bare minimum. And I can actually argue 7th-dimensional because the neutral zone that Champa talked about could actually be the higher dimension that's orthogonally containing the 5D realms. But that's another story for another time. For the most part, he's at least 6D. Look at the Kaioshin realm and compare it to heaven. Yeah. Yep. Good point, Andre. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the chat for a moment. How big is Demon Realm? Is Hell 3 different realms? It's a bubble thirst theory. Yes, Andre is absolutely correct. So Hell is the bottom portion of the upper afterlife. So Hell is actually far. Hell isn't a sphere though. So if I took heaven here, brought it here, and rolled it out like that, then heaven will probably reach like here. So we can't include everything, but at the same time, given the general shape and the circumference of a sphere, Demon World is probably extremely, extremely large. All right, let's see here. Thoughts on Roy Jones as a boxer? Roy Jones is actually one of my favorite boxers, Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. had a lot of good feats. The fact that he's been able to beat fighters such as Bernard Hopkins in his prime and James Toney, who also became a world heavyweight champion, goes to show to his skill. It testifies Roy Jones is a complete monster. How would Yusuke do in the UFC if you take away his powers? I don't know much about Khabib yet, but I do want to say if Yusuke was in the UFC, he would definitely fare really well because he has a lot of street fighting experience, but he would probably have a hard time in the beginning at first. Unless Yusuke had all the experience he had in the past, Yusuke would know how to just utilize his inner potential and just bop everyone. So, and Yusuke fighting experience would just carry him because, I mean, when you can fight beings who could move massively faster than light and destroy hell, recreate worlds and stuff, then I think you should be pretty strong. But all right. Looks like it's time. It's almost 9:45 Eastern time here. Yes, that's right. I'm Eastern area. So I think I'm gonna take it out. I think I'm gonna go ahead and go get some dinner. It's time for me to go eat up, guys. Thank you so much for joining the 2-hour stream. One moment. As you can hear, there's knocking there because it's time to eat. But all right, for everyone who yeah, Yusuke can adapt. Easy. Yusuke always adapts. Yusuke can adapt, and he can heal himself, too. In his fight with Sensui, he already healed himself. And he can recover extremely fast. But we'll talk about that another time. All right, so another time, Jagan King, I will try to do an analysis on Khabib when I start getting some more research and data on him. But for now, I do got to end the stream because I do got to head back. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and this has been Atari HMB. You have a good night as well, Keaton. Thank you, guys, and I'm signing off. Peace.